Yeah.
All right, let's do this. Let's get into our Week 10 slate. It is a good one. It is a very good slate this week. So how we do this slate, Joey, we have a game that we've created called CLG Pick Em, powered by East Coast Dies.
I've been using it.
So what you have been?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
How many points do you have last week?
Shoot, I knew you were gonna put me on the spot.
I'll explain how it works. You figure that out because I'm
3
curious.
weeks ago. So.
Oh, nice,
Yeah.
nice. Let's go. Man, I want it. Let's go. So
I want to win.
So
bro.
how it works?
That's where it comes. Again, sorry. Yeah.
You want a free ECD head? That's what you want.
Yes. I have one. I need to get another one. Okay, sorry. You're going
good,
through your guys' own like refurbished ad read, and I'm totally jacking it up right now.
You're good, man. So I'll explain how it works while you pull that up. So how it works, there's 10 games every week. We're going to talk about those games right now.
Yep.
To pick the winner correct, you get 5 points. To pick the winner against the spread, you get 10 points. There's a possible 195 points on a weekly basis through bonuses and such. The winner nationally on a weekly basis is going to receive a prize from East Coast Dies. You can create leagues with your friends. It's a lot of fun. Kind of late in the season to make a league at this point, but you might as well play. Get the chance to win a cool stick from East Coast Dies.
It's all about the rips.
It is. And then it's all leading up to our tournament bracket, which we're going to announce very soon, but it's all going to be through East Coast Dies and CLG as well on the same website / app. So we're fired up for that to make some brackets. I think brackets are on everyone's mind right now because of March Madness. So we want to create as much attention around that as they do in basketball. Might take a couple of years.
Love brackets. That's what we know.
Dudes love brackets.
But before we start, Joey, you were going to grab a stick back there.
Oh, you want me to? Yeah, one sec.
Yeah, what's your gamer?
Oh.
I mean, we're going to need a picture for the thumbnail, so you got to put it in the shot.
Yeah, here, let me post. Wait.
Look at that thing.
That's the thumbnail. It is also an ECD. This is not strung by me because I'm incompetent at stringing, but it's I don't know what I don't even know what this head would be. To be honest,
that's an Ion.
That's an Ion. All right, cool. I got it.
No, it might have been the Mirage. Actually,
You want to see it again? Do you want to get a closer look?
Yeah.
Rats.
that's a Mirage.
Yeah. I bought this shaft. This is a sci-tie. Literally, it cost $30 on Amazon. I just wanted something to play wall ball. And I found this head at Play It Against Sports. It's been great. And somebody
awesome.
I don't know, some person from, it's called Volo here. It's like a local rec sports thing in Manhattan.
Yeah.
And somebody must have pegged me for a laxer. She was like, hey, we're starting a new rec league. And I was like, how did you know I wanted that? She was listening to me through my phone. So yeah, I might need mom and dad to send me my old pads or something like that. We might have to get back out there. I don't have a pole, God forbid, but maybe I can order that.
Joey, would
that's
you want
cool.
something like this at some point traditional?
Yeah, definitely, dude. That looks sick.
We have a buddy who's a second generation stringer. His father did it. He was an athletic trainer at our high school. He sadly passed away a few years ago, but his son does it still, and he's amazing at it. This is actually a trophy in name for the guy who passed away. We do a mini tournament every year, so this is the trophy.
That is
for
super
it.
cool.
I think about people like yourself who are in New York City and want a stick they can just play around with, but something that's really nice. So I think we can hook you up, but this is
That's awesome.
I think about people like yourself. Yeah, this would be. I want one.
That's
not
super
on a,
cool.
on a trophy.
I love that you guys have hackies as well. I love hackies. Those guys are great.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Hackies are great. They're an underrated product.
I'm getting them for my
We better get a
niece
few
and
extra
nephews.
bucks.
Yeah.
Yes, we better get a few extra bucks for this episode because we're talking about these guys a lot.
Okay, there you go. I by the way,
Thank you.
in my actually 2-week participation, 123 points.
Okay.
Solid.
I don't know. Is that
Across-
I can't see
across
my
2
old
weeks?
picks. Is there a way?
Go to the Pick 'em page.
Okay.
At the top, it should say Past Picks under the title.
Okay.
You can click in
It's
and see.
buffering. Sorry.
We gotta speed that up.
Yeah. Pay your engineer and ECD heads. Fast picks. Nice. Okay. Cool. I'll check that out. Wow. I did.
Yeah.
Wow. There's a lot of red.
No, it's great. You just planted that question because there's so much stuff that I built in there that you need to go dig for it.
You
go
built
get
that.
your answers.
Oh, let's go, Brett.
Yes.
Nice work.
Yes. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hell yeah! All right, let's play. Let's do this. Week 10. We're going to you to start, Joey. Hopkins at Ohio State. Ohio State's a 2.5 goal underdog in this one. The game is at noon.
Awesome. Yeah. I will. I was so torn, right? Because we talked about the Big Ten having parity. That slow start last week for Ohio State, that was a hard watch. I mean, going down 4-0 to begin, I just feel like this group, they're missing some zhuzh. They just don't have the juice right out the gate to get started fast. And it's kind of tough to tell where they are right now with the specialist category. I know Caleb Fyock hurt himself, I think, in warmups and a few weeks ago, and he just seems a little more rattled with that shoulder pain. I mean, that being said, though, Alex Marnier is a stud. I love his game. I like where this team can go when they're on. It's still hard for me to trust them from a scoring perspective. And I feel like Hopkins found something in the comeback a little bit later on against Penn State. I mean, Penn State either takes like steps on people's toes with cleats on, or they let teams hang around. And if Hopkins is the last team, they're probably the last team you want hanging around, to be honest.
Yes.
And so I think Matt Collison has to be good. If he's off, I think they struggle. Like we saw that in the Rutgers game when Mark and I were talking about that. It's like Collison was our highlighted player for that Big Ten Network game. He just wasn't a factor that day. But when he is a factor, he's great. It takes the defense, like almost the entire defense, to stop him. So I think, Joe Hoba will have a decent day at the face. Orange Linus, nasty flow. I'll use this again. Like he and that goalie room need him and Dash Lamidi need a NIL deal with mane and tail. I mean, those guys have some sweet flow. And if he's saving 80 to 90% of those shots, I feel like Hopkins wins. So I'm gonna take Hopkins and the points.
Love it. And if you don't want to pick any of these, you don't have to. I told these guys, get ready to pick for Joey if you need to.
No, you're good. I'm happy to. Like I'm calling Penn Princeton this week. Shameless plug. So if you guys are keen on that is the only one I won't pick, of course.
Perfect. Yep.
But we don't have that on there,
covering that one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. Hayden, we're going to talk mid-major right now. We're going to talk about the ASUN conference, which, Joey, I don't know how familiar you are with the ASUN, but it is.
I used to call Bellarmine games when I lived in Indy, so I'm all in.
He is in. He is maybe more in than we are. Hayden, Utah at Jacksonville. Jacksonville is a 1.5 goal favorite. Games at noon.
Yeah, good game. This is just like your classic ASUN game, right? It's always Utah, Jacksonville, at least the last couple years. Both teams are solid. Jacksonville is 6-4, Utah 7-3. Utah actually just entered the top 20 poll, coming in at number 20 this week. Truthfully, I think Jacksonville is a better team. Early on, they had some tough losses to Rutgers and UNC. Lost to both those teams by a goal, which is saying something, considering how good UNC has been, and then some of the wins that Rutgers has. Both teams don't have any great wins, right? Most of their wins are coming against mid-majors. Jacksonville beat up on High Point a couple weeks back, but neither team has a great body of work thus far. So with that said, this is kind of a toss-up. I do think Jacksonville's a better team, and I think we're probably going to see this matchup again in the ASUN tournament, which is going to be hosted at Jacksonville. So if you're Jacksonville, it's like you're going into this ASUN tournament as a home team, right? You might be a lower seed, but you're playing at home. So, I like Jacksonville winning this game. If they beat Utah this week, then they got Bellarmine and Mercer, which I think are 2 wins for them, and they go undefeated in the ASUN and get that number 1 seed. So I like Jacksonville. I think Utah's a good team, and like whatever team wins the ASUN and gets into May, like they're a competitive team and could win a game. But I'm going to go with Jacksonville this week.
They might win the playing game.
True.
Yeah, they're not beating North Carolina. Sorry.
The electric playing game.
You never know.
Parity.
Jacksonville play them to a 1-goal game.
Parity. That's right. More Maction. And I'm not talking the MAC. I'm talking the NAAC. Maction. We got Sacred Heart at Siena. Michael's going to you. Games at noon.
You want to talk about some midweek games, Joey? Maction. Happens in Lacrosse too. But I mean, this is the top of the MAC. This is a good game. It's a coin flip. Along with Richmond, who was undefeated, no more. Sacred Heart is undefeated, no more. They lost last week to Quinnipiac, which is a shocking loss. Quinnipiac has not had a great year. Siena's 5-0 in conference. Now Siena's on top, and Sacred Heart's tied for second with Marist. I mean, Siena's just got something. They're just kind of on a magical run this year. They won 6 in a row. Obviously, it's been mentioned before on this podcast, but the tragic passing of their head coach, Liam Gleason. I mean, they're just playing for something bigger than themselves. That locker room is true belief that they're going to do something special this year. But I mean, Sacred Heart is a great team. Sometimes you need a loss to really grow as a team. I think that's what's going to happen with Richmond as well. But their goalie, Craig Daria, is 6th in the country in save percentage. They have a great, consistent offense. They're 5th in points per game, assists per game, and scoring offense. And the last thing I would mention with Siena is their best offensive player, Patrick Radomski, is possibly out for the rest of the season. He's missed the past 2 weeks. With that, I think Sacred Heart gets a bounce-back win.
Great take. Great take. That's a rematch of the MAC championship last year. That's going to be a good one.
Good call.
At noon. Going to you, Joey, for a big one. Game of the weekend, in my opinion. Navy at Army.
Oh, yeah.
I like to say Army versus Navy, but we got Navy at Army. Army is the 2.5 goal favorite. Game is at 2:30.
on the banks of the Hudson, boys. Last time Navy won this game was in 2022. That was 12-11 in OT. Last year, Army won on that snipe by Jackson Eicher, also 12-11 in OT. Probably one of the better games all year. I mean, that was an instant classic. I think that you think about a guy like Mac Haley for Navy. He's a senior, local kid, leading the way for the midshipmen on offense. Army's just so confusing this year. I mean, they're Schrodinger's Black Knights. Are they going to be great? Are they going to be not? We don't know if they're dead or alive. And that, we talked a little bit about like that brand facing, like being great for lacrosse. And I still think it is, obviously. This game is going to be awesome. And I think it's going to be highly watched on CBS Sports Network. For a while, I mean, Army was America's team. The last couple of years, they were at one point, I think number one both those years at one point.
Yeah.
And for at least a week. And so I think there's still some of that with Army. Like they still hold on to this, like kind of lacrosse identity of like, we're still a great program and we're going to be facing a rival. Both these teams are really good right now. So I feel like Joe Alberici will have these guys ready. It's at West Point. There's just something about being along the Hudson, man. I feel like these guys are in for a good spot. But I don't know, my heart kind of wants Army, but I feel like Navy's going to have their revenge for the first time since 2022.
Wow. So you're taking Navy.
Taking Navy.
Crap.
And I would say like a 2.5 goal spread is big for this game. Like it always comes down to the wire. Like, if we're talking about a lock of the week or something like that, Navy to cover is a good place to put your money.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, we have a term we used to start this podcast. I haven't used in a while, but feed the family. When there's a pick you are so confident on, you call it a feed the family pick. I'm feeding my family this week with Navy plus 2.5 at Army. I love it. I hope it comes down the wire. I'm just taking Navy points just because I hope it's a 1-goal game, and I hope it's as good as we all hope it is going to be. I think they played at Army a couple of years ago. It was raining, but they still got 10,000 people there. So I hope it's something like that this weekend. It'll be exciting. Penn at Princeton, Hayden. Princeton's a 4.5 goal favorite. Games at noon.
You better watch, Hayden. You better rewatch it.
Yeah, I will. I wouldn't miss it for the world. Can't wait to hear you on it too. It's gonna be a good one. I was really hoping that Penn beat Cornell last week. When you take a step back and look at the Ivy League, Penn and Yale are kind of fighting for that fourth spot in the Ivy League tournament. And I really thought Penn hosting Cornell last week was their chance to like cement themselves in that tournament. They didn't get it done. So, to really like solidify themselves in the tournament, they're going to have to beat Princeton and Brown, which is a tall task. Princeton is just really good. They're lights out. They're a top 3 team in the country. Like some polls have them at number 2. I love the way Princeton plays. I think they're going to win this game. They also just came out with these new helmets. I don't know if they're wearing them against Penn, but they're the best helmets of the year. Like they're all orange, white face masks. They just say Tigers on the side. They're beautiful. But I love the way Princeton plays. Like their offense is unbelievable, right? They're super well connected. But their D middies are just horses, man. Like they have like some 6'3", 6'4" studs just running the field who, when that's your short stick matchup that you're trying to exploit as an offensive player, like, you're not going to get much against those guys. So I like Princeton. I think they're a super complete team. Penn's another team, like, talked about it last week with Taylor Ray and, how good of a coach he is and how good he is at getting his teams into conference tournaments and then eventually the NCAA tournament. But I don't see Penn beating Princeton, especially at Princeton. I like Princeton winning this game, and, I like them playing on Memorial Day weekend, at least in the Final Four.
Do they cover 4.5 goals?
I think they do. I think Princeton wins by 5+.
Okay. I like the pick. Joey will be tuning in for that one for sure. We're excited for him, man.
Let's go.
That's ESPN Plus, right?
It's ESPN Plus. It's NBC Sports Philadelphia and SNY. It's a whole smorgasbord of networks.
Wait, that's fascinating. So they actually put the game on. I didn't realize that because we don't have any local. I guess just like Harvard play on like Nesson sometimes.
Not really.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They do.
Do they?
Yeah. We don't have
What
Nesson.
part of Mass are you guys in?
We're in Boston. We're in Brighton.
Oh, you're in Brighton. Nice. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So that's interesting. Okay, so there's going to be more eyes on it than just the ESPN Plus subscribers who are tuning in. That's good to know.
Yeah, it'll be good. It's like a local, it's your local TV. If your grandpa was flipping the clicker a little bit, he'll find it there.
Perfect. Awesome. Mike, going to you, Duke versus Cornell. Cornell's a 1.5 goal favorite. The game's at 2 p.m. It's in Brookville, New York. I don't know the site of the game, but it is neutral.
Yeah, we talked about it a lot earlier, especially with Duke, with RPI. But I mean, honestly, both of these teams, Cornell and Duke, are both on the outside looking in as far as at-large contention goes if the season were to end right now. And they're like both, I think they're like 13th and 15th, so basically right next to each other in RPI. So this is a really important game, especially for Duke, who has Cornell left, and then they have 2 ACC games against Notre Dame and UNC, and they're already 0-2 in the ACC. So you got to think Duke is pretty much in playoff mode right now, that's when lacrosse gets exciting. Once you get to that playoff, I mean, it's just a different level of competing. Cornell as well. I mean, there's no guarantee. I mean, they got to make the Ivy tournament. There's about 5 teams that are really fighting to get in. And then who says that they're going to win it? I mean, that's a tough conference this year as well. So, I mean, it's pretty much a toss-up here. I do think that Cornell finds ways to win games. I think Cornell is way better coached than Duke. I mean, they're last year's national champion. And you can't forget it until the season ends. They're still the contender. But there are a few fun matchups in this game. Duke's Charlie Johnson and Henry Bard on Cornell's Willem Firth and Ryan Goldstein. And then also Cornell's Brendan Staub on Ben Johnson. So keep an eye out for those. I'm going to take Cornell. Like I said, I think that they just find ways to win games and are just they're better coached.
Yep. Duke has all the pressure in the world on them. We had an at-large conversation earlier, and they're feeling the pressure. So is Cornell, though, and that was a great win last week against Penn that they had. Next game.
One thing, I asked AI about this matchup. They haven't played in the regular season since 2009.
Okay,
That's
interesting.
Isn't that interesting?
It could be a cool color rush
because that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't see these teams playing. Like in my head when I think like regular season, like Cornell Duke doesn't ring a bell to me.
It's a cool color rush game too. If you have like just
sense.
the royal blue versus the big red.
Yeah, I don't know. Just it prompted me to look it up because it's a unique matchup.
Thanks, Jamie.
Got you.
Thanks, Jamie. Yeah. All right, going to you, Joey. This is a big one. Virginia at Syracuse. Cuse is a 1.5 goal favorite. The game's at 4:00. Gosh, the story of Virginia this year is pretty amazing. 3 weeks ago, just counting them out, and now it's a toss-up. Who wins this game? I don't know, but what's your thoughts?
Yeah, man. This was a tough one. Yeah, when I saw that you wanted me to pick this, I was like, dude, I don't know. Toss-up. Flip a coin.
We're not picking it. Shit, it's just we give the tough ones to our guests.
Yeah, that's good.
This is tough.
Good. That's good, as you should. Okay, so this could be an egg on my face. I'm fully bought back into Virginia. They have sold me. I mean, like, it's one of those teams you look at and wonder about every single year. I mean, a lot of people questioning Lars, if he's lost his fastball as a coach. I mean, the dude's won 2 titles. If you, it was 2019, 2021, essentially back to back, if you really think about the legit seasons that were played, because of COVID. And for Cuse, I see them making a run at Final Four championship weekend, but in the way that, you see their offense right now with Joey Spallina, he's going to find goals. But he's also going to get doubled. Like, where else is the scoring going to come from? Is it Finn Thompson? Like, how's their defense going to hold up? Is Jimmy McCool locked in between the sticks? Like that, those things matter. And Virginia is also like still pretty young. Like, I think we're just seeing them kind of mature in front of our eyes, but they were way too lax with their clears. But
yes,
last week against Duke, I mean, they have the horses to score anywhere. Truett Sunderland, Colsey kind of picked up for McCabe's slower afternoon. I just think that when you take these teams at face value, where they are right now, Virginia has every right to be to frankly be doubted, because it kind of feels like a flash in the pan still. Like, I think this is their real prove it weekend.
Yes.
There's something about this group that just feels like they're nearly there. If they beat Syracuse, I think that we have to really respect where Virginia is at with the way that they started this season. You said the line was what? Syracuse -1.5?
Yes.
Yeah. Man, I don't know why. I'm not a hater for Syracuse. There's just something that I'm not picking up on. Maybe I'm just not seeing. I'm seeing them get to a championship weekend potentially. Because I think that what's great about the NCAA men's lacrosse tournament is that you only have to win a couple games to get the championship weekend. In the same note, you only have to win a couple games to get the championship weekend, and like you could be found out. You could have just had a couple great games. As far as this weekend is concerned, though, I'm still going to take Virginia. I just feel good about where they're at right now.
I
Just,
like
ride
the
hot
pick, Joe.
hand, and maybe that's contrary. Geez, you think I talk for a living? To popular belief, but
It's 10 o'clock.
yeah, I feel like they've just got this. You got to ride the hot hand right now.
Yeah.
And yeah, again, not a Syracuse hater. I just feel like for this particular pick, I think Virginia wins outright.
I'm with you. I mentioned earlier in the episode that like kind of had the same thought about Virginia. Like they're just a different team now than they were a couple weeks ago, and like Virginia's just a staple on championship weekend, and like it's fun to think that they could get there. With that said, like Syracuse is a different team in the Dome.
True.
I like you watch their game against UNC, and like they just don't play well outdoors. Like Coach Gade had a couple comments about it too after the game. Talking about the footing on the field and how they don't have the facilities to practice on grass. Like they have to practice on turf. I don't know. It's a whole thing.
Be the first.
Syracuse
the first
is a different team in the Dome.
The first team to complain about playing on grass. Grass is so much better. Grass is so much
right?
better.
That's a valid point.
Yeah. It seems like they asked Sean Light, I think Mark Dixon asked him in his podcast last week, like, where's your favorite out of ACC place to play that's not Arlotta? And he was like, immediately, like, the Dome. And that makes sense. I get it. But, like, the UNC place looks just so perfect in every way possible.
Yeah. It's like.
Have you been there?
No, not yet. It's an
Okay.
incredible facility, though, on TV. It looks awesome.
Yeah. And the camera it doesn't even capture most of the fans, mostly on that side that the camera's going from. But you look at the end zone too, and they got all the national championship banners, and then just probably the donors get to sit up on that little top spot over the bricks that just get a view of the whole field from the end zone. It's a beautiful facility, but I guess the grass sucks.
I don't know if you guys saw the end of the Cuse game, but they pulled McCool in like the third quarter.
Yeah.
I think that they should have made that decision earlier, and that game might have changed. Because the guy they brought in was playing really well, seeing the ball well. I think this is about how Jimmy McCool responds.
He was a spark of energy for them, and someone's got to be a spark besides your backup.
Which happens, 100% happens. But I think Jimmy needs to get comfortable at home. Yeah, I think they'll pull this out.
That Merrick guy was awesome, though. The goaltender.
Yes,
he was great.
Former walk-on, awesome story.
His story, we got to have him on. It is a great story.
More stories, Joey. More stories.
Harvard at Yale, Michael. Game's at 3:30. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, Yale's finally finding their stride. Right? They've won 2 in a row in the Ivy League. Beat Cornell, and then they beat Dartmouth. Smacked Dartmouth. They're sitting at 4th. They're tied at 2-2 in Ivy League with Penn. But you beat Harvard, who's 3-0 in Ivy, and you're sitting at 3-2 in conference. Gives you a chance. You're probably gonna make the Ivy League tournament, and who knows what can happen there. But I mean, they're out of that large contention. But again, if you're getting hot at this time of the year, that's all that matters. If you're playing your best ball right now, that's all that matters. It's just a fact about lacrosse and most sports, basketball too. But I mean, Harvard got in my opinion, a much needed loss against UNC. They lost by 10. It was a Corrigan sports event, so it's a prime time event. People are paying $16 to watch you get smacked by 10 goals, probably pissed off. And then they have a bounce back win against Brown, and they have a gauntlet to finish. They have Yale, Princeton, and Cornell. But I mean, again, they're 3-0. They're in the top 10 for RPI. It does feel like they need this win, which I feel like Harvard has a little bit of pressure. Yale kind of still has that chip on their shoulder. I'm going to take Yale to upset Harvard.
A lot of upsets being forecasted by CLG. What do you think they win by? And Harvard's going to be the favorite, but
when you pick an upset, I feel like you just have to say they're going to win by a goal. I can't see them, I think it's going to be, if they win, it's going to be by a goal or 2 goals max, in my opinion.
It'll be a tight spread because Yale's at home and it's conference play.
That's a cool stadium too. Go ahead.
Yes. Hayden, this is the big one. This is just turned into a 1 versus 2 game after the UNC Syracuse game and the Notre Dame Richmond game this past weekend. But UNC at Notre Dame, the Irish are a goal and a half favorite. The game is at 5 p.m.
Yep, 5 o'clock at Arlotta. It's gonna be a beautiful scene. I'm not gonna talk too much about this game because I think we just need to sit back and enjoy it. And we've seen what Notre Dame is able to do. We've seen what UNC is able to do. I wasn't as high as I am now on Notre Dame before that Richmond game, but they're a complete team. Defensively, I think they have the advantage over UNC, but UNC has an advantage, I think, everywhere else. I mean, at the face-off X, they're lights out. Brady Wambach is a potential Tewaaraton finalists. Offensively, like Duffy and Petramala are two guys that are seemingly uncoverable this year, but Mason Suchek is another just like stud that I love watching. I love his game. And then they have a bunch of electric freshmen in Rayao and Gary Merrill, and a couple other guys contributing. So this is going to be a great offensive power versus a great defensive power. And that's not to say it's going to go both ends, but I think the UNC offense versus Notre Dame defense is going to be must-watch TV. I think I like Notre Dame winning this game at home. I think they're here. I think they're just comfortable being the number one team in the country or soon to be number one team in the country. And this is kind of uncharted territory for a lot of these guys on the UNC team the last couple of years. So I see them dropping this one and maybe getting them back in the ACC tournament. But I like the way Notre Dame's playing right now. I like Notre Dame at home. And then, just talking to Sean Light earlier, like those guys are just consummate in everything they do. So I like Notre Dame and the Notre Dame defense shutting down UNC.
I liked your first statement. Just enjoy the game. Just enjoy it. It's at 5 o'clock. You'll be able to tune in. The Masters will be wrapping up right around then. So just sink your teeth into UNC at Notre Dame. It's going to be a joy to watch. Last one, Joey, going to you to bring us home. We got Rutgers at Maryland. The Terps are 3.5 goal favorite. Games at 6 o'clock. I have to assume it's on Big Ten Network.
So this is also a toss-up because I think Rutgers just caught a really bad day against Michigan. This team is so much better than they showed. I think even against Hopkins, I think they struggled just to kind of hit the cage. They're just a little bit off. Obviously had the epic finish at the end against Hop. But last week they just seemed really out of sync. Cordella wasn't moving the same. The offense wasn't spinning the same. Maryland right now feels a little bit, it's not as dramatic maybe as Virginia, but Maryland feels like they're back on the come up. Catching up with Tillman a few weeks ago, he was as not too high or low as possible. Like he was like, look, this is just where we're at. Like it's nut cutting time. Like we got to go. And he didn't say that. I'm saying that. It just felt like it just kind of felt like that's where we got to go right now. And like, are we going to step up or are we and make it the championship weekend again? Like, can this team do that? They can. I mean, I do think that the discourse about Eric Sparnos, like he is as consistent and fundamental as it gets, man. Like 8 goals is no joke. Like if he had 2 working knees, like maybe he'd be even more flashy. But the dude is a great warrior. I think with 2 Yale transfers of Chris Lyons and Leo Johnson, the offense is becoming more dynamic. I think it just took them a while to get in their groove. Henry Dodge is awesome at the faceoff. Ripple's still improving. It's a great goalie matchup. It's a great faceoff matchup. But I do think that it does come down to just straight goal scoring. And you can't do that against this Maryland defense, apparently. Even without Will Schaller, it has actually given a runway for somebody like Riley Reese to really show up. And he's like become the hottest thing in College Park. I mean, this guy has, I think his, I forget what my note was. I could probably pull my chart over here if you want. But I think his dad played there. His sister's committed to playing there. His mom,
his mom was a coach.
Yeah, that moment. I think that's indicative of where Maryland is right now. They needed something to really spark them. I think getting that Michigan game was a great tune-up for them after dropping their first. And so they're dropping their first Big Ten win. So I feel like it's just only a matter of time. I think Maryland wins, but I think it's close. What was the line you said?
3.5.
Yeah, I feel like Rutgers can play teams just tight. I don't see any other way around it. Then again, I'll probably have a bunch of red on my CLG picks.
It's tough.
Yeah, it's a good point though. The Rutgers does have goal scorers, but Maryland's defense is stout. It is the one day at a time thing from Tillman too. It doesn't surprise me.
It's just crazy to think that Maryland could crawl their way back into the top 5 if they win, this week against Rutgers and Hopkins next week, and then going into Big Ten play. They're right back where they belong. So
no surprise.
that's what Tillman does.
Yep. Well, Joey, it's 10:24 p.m. Eastern on a Monday right now, and you've been on for over an hour, man, and we greatly appreciate you taking the step coming on. Yeah, this is really cool, and we're gonna follow your journey closely. You're always welcome back on this show.